Now.
Okay, welcome to Talon Group, Tactical Carbine 01. This is a safety briefing with range rules. I'm going to cover a couple of items on here. Once I cover these, each one of them, if you have a question at the end of it, I'll ask you to present those, and we'll answer those as well as we can. 3 items to remember when firing your weapon. I like for you to remember these. Never point your weapon at something you don't intend to destroy. That's number 1. Number 2, do not place your finger inside the trigger guard unless you are prepared to pull the trigger. Number 3, be aware of what's in front of and what's behind your target before you pull the trigger. Does anybody have any questions about those 3 range rules? Okay, excellent. If you muzzle sweep anyone, you'll be dismissed from class immediately as a risk to yourself and to others. Does anybody have a question about what a muzzle sweep is? Excellent. Wear eye pro and ear pro when doing drills or when others are doing drills. Ear protection or eye protection. Any questions? Excellent. Your weapon is to be on safe when not actively shooting. That means if you are going to change shoulders, you put it on safe before you do. If you're going to move, you put it on safe before you do. Every single time. The instructor will either say range is hot, range is cold, or he'll say safe and hang. Put it on safe and hang it onto your single point sling. Any questions? Excellent. Medical emergency. This is very important. The address will be with the medical gear that is over here. There is a trauma kit, an AED, and an oxygen kit with airway adjuncts in it. And there is a strap that is over there. It's a ratchet style strap. If there is a shot to the leg, we will use that to keep you from bleeding out. Now, all of our safety rules are going to prevent that. But in the event that something happens, I'll be primary medical care. Secondary medical care will be assigned out by Dave when we get ready to do the class. If a medical emergency happens that involves gunfire, do not call 911 and say someone has been shot unless you intend to have every police officer and SWAT team in the area swarm us. If there is a medical emergency that involves someone getting shot, place a call, and the first thing that you say is, we are at a training range and we've had a training accident. One of our students has been shot. Give them the condition of the person and the location of the person and what care is being given at that time. Is everybody good with that? The address for here is 690 Ritchie Lane, West Point, Kentucky. The address will be with the medical gear. In the event that there is an emergency, Dave will be the person that gets the address and makes a phone call. Dave has a cell phone with him and it works. Lastly, we're going to talk about a few commands that will be utilized during the class. These are safety commands. If we're going to be in a situation where we're going to be doing individual or team drills and there's going to be moving involved with it, then we'll use the moving command. That means that if I've got a man that's here and I'm going to be moving, I will guard my muzzle not to sweep him, and before I move, I will say, moving. The gentleman to whichever side that I'm going to move will give the command or receipt back saying, move. At that time, I will make my move. The next thing that we'll do is a check command. Check command is if we have run out of ammunition or we have some malfunction with our firearm. The instructor will teach you to first go down and go to your secondary weapon, and then you will say, check. The man next to you will say, okay, which means that he will cover you and be watching out for you what's going on. He will either do an administrative change on your pistol if you fired it, you'll put it back into your holster, and then you'll take care of your whatever. And then you will say, ready. The man next to you will say, okay, and then everybody knows what's going on. Does anybody have any questions about that? So when we move, I'm going to move and I'll say what? Move. The man that I'm moving around will say what? Move. We'll have ear pro on, so these will be firm commands. Moving! Move! And we'll go through the process. Check! Okay! Do what I need to do. Ready! Okay. Everybody good with that? Lastly, we'll talk about double feed. We'll give an example of a double feed and go through that process that's on there. But if you have a double feed, you're shooting, you either think that you're out of ammunition or you've had a double feed, you'll rotate it to the side to see if that's the case. If you detect that you have a double feed, you'll keep it in your workspace, you'll keep your muzzle up. Hopefully gravity will work out with you. You'll take the bolt, lock it to the back with your paddle or a bad device depending on what you have. You'll depress your lever, you'll rip out your magazine, you'll look to see if it's fallen out, you'll release your bolt, you'll work it, rack, 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 look to see that it's clear, lock it down, place the magazine in, return it, press check, back into the fire. No matter what you do, muzzle's up, muzzle control at all times. Any questions with that? Excellent. That's the end of our safety briefing, guys. If you have any questions, now's the time.